Hey Kevin, I really appreciate you doing this interview with me. Excited to share your story with all the students who are interested in also starting their career in technology sales. You really come from a very interesting background, and I'd love for you to probably start by touching on your background and how you heard about tech sales, what got you interested, and all that good stuff.
Sure. Pretty simple. For the last 8 years, I worked in construction. I apprenticed in a labor union, Local 825, operating engineers. Um, Once I completed the apprenticeship, I worked as a crane operator, which involves a pretty good degree of engineering knowledge and a lot of qualifications that you have to actually go out of your way to test for, both written and practical. Um, it was a good job. It paid well. The benefits were great. Got to work with all kinds of different teams. You had to be skilled with communications, not only verbally but non-verbally, like hand signals and what have you.
Mhm.
Um, so that was one aspect of the job that I really liked. Throughout the pandemic, work sort of slowed down, and I kind of took a little time to figure, maybe there was something I might be better suited for, and that's when I came across tech sales via Google, and that's actually how I came across Course Careers. I think I found it on Glassdoor
Awesome.
or one of those sites, and yeah, the best decision I ever made.
Cool. And do you have a degree? Did you go to college or did you go right into that apprenticeship?
I did not. Well, for full transparency, I did do a little college way back when, like right out of high school, and I ended up dropping out because it just wasn't something that I was really into. And
Yeah.
with how much it costs, I was like, I don't want to find myself hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with a degree that I'm not going to even end up using. You know what I mean? So then that's when I got into my first job with Cherry Hill Kia as a lot attendant, and then later on into online sales. And then that's when I got into the union, into the apprenticeship, probably around 2013. So
Mhm.
about, was it been 9 years, 8 years, almost 9 years now. And yeah, so really no formal college experience.
Gotcha. So no college experience. And as far as like office experience, like working in an office or doing sales, what was that experience like?
The closest experience I had with that was when I worked at Cherry Hill Kia, the online sales department. I
Mhm.
handled shipping and receiving. Um, it was a small team. Like I think there was three or four of us,
Yeah.
and I handled the shipping and receiving. And the only time I really had any customer interaction was when we had reports of damaged or missing products, either inbound or outbound.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, and I loved it. It was a really great working environment. But at the end of the day, like it just wasn't paying the bills, and that's when I got into the union and just sort of left that behind. But it's kind of great to get back to that setting, and I kind of realized, or didn't realize rather, how much I had missed it.
For sure. Yeah. So you don't really have you don't have a degree or any real like selling experience. So you're really coming from what should have been an uphill battle, but might have not been so much. That's really an incredible background. And then you found course careers on a job board. And what made you decide to enroll in the program? Did you go through the introduction course? Were you hesitant?
I was hesitant a little bit because my knowledge of sales came from when I worked at that car dealership,
Yeah.
and just seeing how some of the salesmen like would interact. It's like, oh wow, it's kind of cutthroat. It's like they
Yeah.
all been watching Glenn Ross a little too much. And but then like when I took the free introduction course, and I really started to kind of like look into it, I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't what I thought it was. And so I took a chance and enrolled. And the minute that I got into the paid courses, was like, oh wow, this is like, not only was I completely wrong about this, but I feel like I'd be a great fit for this.
Awesome, awesome. So, is there anything you say to students who are thinking about enrolling but not sure if they should or if this is legit?
Well, the first thing I could say 100% is legit. And I'm a pretty skeptical person, especially when it comes to like, discovering things online. Cause, I mean, the truth is not everything is what it seems online. But I mean, this is 100% legit. I mean, I actually have a job with one of the top, data companies in North America now, which I would, if you would have told me that before I enrolled in this program, I would have thought you were insane. So if you're thinking of joining the program, don't hesitate. I don't even know if you want to call it a regret. It's just my only wish is that I had discovered this sooner. So.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you enrolled, and what was your experience like going through the course?
My experience was that it came across as very much a learn at your own pace. Um, so like whether you have a full-time job and it's something you do at night or on weekends, or you were like me where I wasn't really working, so it was just sort of like I just grinded through it and just devoured the information, the books, which I love the books. Fanatical prospecting, I mean, that should probably be on anybody who's aspiring, looking for an aspiring career in tech sales. It should be on your bookshelf for sure. And yeah, I just, I really, it was easy to digest. I loved how like at the end of every section, there was like a test your knowledge quiz. And then of course, at the end of the entire course, there was a pretty decent sized test to really sort of make sure that you have everything down, the terminology, what it takes. But my favorite part, and this is the part that I think is invaluable, is the Discord meetings that we have every Monday and Thursday with Troy, yourself, so that we get the chance to pick your brain and sort of like really, have any questions that we might have, that we, obstacles we might, come across in this journey. I mean, that to me is worth the price of admission right there. So, I mean, you're getting a lot for what you're paying. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, and would you say the course material was complex or difficult to learn?
Oh no, not at all. It was laid out very. I mean, like when it comes to, I mean, I am a bit of a heavy reader. I do like reading a lot, and so the books I know some people are like slow readers or they find it difficult to read. Fortunately, the books that you are in the program all have audio book versions, so there is that. But the actual course itself, it was very simple. It was laid out very clearly. And yeah, like the quizzes and the tests at the end, like I'm somebody who's not a good test taker. That's never been a strong suit of mine. I don't know if it's anxiety or something, but I had no problem with it whatsoever. So if I don't have any problem with it, you should, I think anybody can do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And then once you finished the program, how many companies did you interview with? Was it only the one or?
So I interviewed with Dun Bradstreet. I put out an application to Clovers, but then they had stopped hiring everywhere. And then so I mean, at that point when I had put in the application to Clovers, I had already gotten to the second interview with Dun Bradstreet, and it was only a 2-interview process. So basically they did the first interview, and then if they decided that they were, wanted you to go on with their video call with their 2 hiring managers, once you got to that phase, if they wanted to hire you, then they'd make you the offer. So I didn't even really get a chance to try and apply with any other companies because I got a job like that.
Yeah. I was telling, like, you told me you got an offer. I was like, oh, well, keep applying. You're like, well, this is a really good offer. I think I'm just going to accept it. It's like, I don't blame you.
Yeah, it was just like it just happened so fast too. Like I think we had just finished our one-on-one that everybody goes through at the end of the course, and I had applied for Dun Bradstreet, and then bam, there was the first interview. And then once I was going to the first interview, you were like, oh yeah, try Clovers, and then I put out the application for Clovers, and then I got the second interview. And then, when Clovers got back to everybody, it's like, oh, sorry for the confusion, but we're not really hiring anymore right now. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, hey, here's the job offer from Dun Bradstreet. So it's like, okay, well, I think I'm just going to take the job offer.
So what do you think was the duration from when you actually finished the course and had your one-on-one with me between when you got the offer with Dun Bradstreet?
So I know I started the course February 15th of this year, 2022. We had our one-on-one I think almost a month to the day, well, maybe not to the day, but like it had been a full month at that point. It was March 13th, I believe.
Oh
I
wow.
think
So
that
you
would have been a
finished
Monday.
in right under a month then, the whole course.
Yeah, like right under a month, I think. And then from that point, the first interview I had, oh wait, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I think it was a week before that actually, because my second interview was the day before St. Patrick's Day. It was March 16th, and I got the job offer that day.
Wow.
I know because St. Patrick's Day, me and my wife celebrated Irish style.
Awesome. That's incredible. So yeah, that was a really quick journey then. What was that, less than a week from when you finished the course to getting the offer then?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, it feels like it was that fast.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
incredible. So like a week, so about a month and a week, or maybe even less than a month and a week between when you started and had an offer in hand.
yeah, yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's really incredible, especially coming with no degree, no real sales experience. And you only interviewed with one company, got one offer. And let's say you kept interviewing with other companies. Do you think you would have been successful and got more offers?
Not only do I think I would have been successful, but I think I mean, look, for me, I like the offer that Dun and Bradstreet came to me with, and I definitely, being new to tech sales, I just, I jumped at it. Not saying
Yeah,
that's a bad thing, but for anybody coming in, I would definitely like Troy, like you recommend, definitely apply to as many places as you can, because then you can kind of like compare offers and get your value, get your market value. If one company is going to offer you $45,000 a year, and then you apply with another company and say they offer you $55,000 a year, say you don't even want to work with that company, you could go back to company one and say, well, look, I'm getting offered this from them. Like, can you match that? Can you do better? Like, you can kind of play the market against each other. Or I don't know if I'm
yeah,
explaining that right, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. Make them compete for you.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say in my rambling.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And let's see here. So you accepted this offer for Dun and Bradstreet. And by the way, Dun and Bradstreet is a large partner company of Course Careers, so they do hire a bunch of our students. So if you go through Course Careers, yeah, you're definitely going to get a chance to interview Dun and Bradstreet if you like.
Mm.
And what was your offer at Dun and Bradstreet, like compensation wise, work schedule wise?
So the offer was 45,000 base salary with $20,000 on target earnings.
Mhm.
They do a commission of I think it's 100%. So like it would be $20,000 extra a year,
Yeah.
but you can go 200% over your quota mark. So basically, I think at the end of each month, like, when your quotas are in, like, you can go at most 200% over.
Oh wow.
Um,
So you could be making between 65 to 85,000 this year.
if I'm understanding the offer correctly, yes, because
Yeah.
yes. Um, the benefits are great. You get medical, dental, vision, life insurance, 401k, which is all, something like for me,
Yeah.
I have a wife and daughter. That stuff's very important to me.
Mhm.
So that definitely also was a deciding factor in whether or not I wanted to accept the offer.
For sure.
Uh,
Does it
I'm
look like
sorry.
you're working from home too?
Oh yeah, fully remote. The cool thing about Dun and Bradstreet is they're very laid back on when you want your hours to be. So like you could choose, like for me, I've been doing 8 to 4:30, 8 hour
Mhm.
day with your half hour for lunch, obviously. And
Yeah.
but some people say they want to come in earlier. They want to do 7 to 3:30, or they want to come in an hour later. They want to do 9 to 5:30. As long as it's within like that, the time of operations, like as long as it's
Mhm.
within that window, they're very flexible on what works best for you.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And where do you see yourself going over the next couple years now that you started your career in technology sales? Like, where do you think it could take you?
Well, I hope at least in the next 5 years or so that I'm still with Dun and Bradstreet, just because the culture's great, and I've just really been loving it so far. I hope to be, well, I mean, going in, I was hoping to be in an account executive role, but just seeing how these team leaders operate, like even that would be a great role to get into.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I want to stick with, and definitely want to, thrive and grow at.
For sure. And how do you think your personal life is going to change now that you're able to work remotely from home with your kids with a great job that you can really be proud of?
Um, well, just that part at the end there. I mean, just having a job that I can be proud of, and being able to spend more time with my family. I mean, because my old job, one of the biggest problems was, like, you'd have to wake up at 4 a.m., drive 2 hours to, say, like, Newark or something.
Hmm.
And then, maybe you work an 8 hour day and you're home by 5, or maybe you got to work 12 hours and then you're not getting home till 9 o'clock at night. The kid's already sleeping, and it's just, you want to rip your hair out. It's certainly, it's life changing in a way that I would never thought it was possible. So I couldn't be more grateful or happy about it.
Mhm. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your story, and I'm hoping more people will listen to this story and just like you, if they really want to change their lives, knowing that there is no limitation. It doesn't matter your background or where you come from, as long as you have that desire to start a new career in tech sales. And obviously, you're proof it can be done very quickly. So less than a month, finish the course. Week later, you have a permanent offer in hand. So yeah, really, really incredible. And thanks for sharing your story again, Kevin.
It's the least I can do. So, thank you for everything.
No problem. We're here to help. Yeah, thanks again.